There's Duke. I assume we'll fight the Adephagos right after Duke. I guess the game could mess with us and have one more dungeon after Duke. To, like, represent us going after the Adephagos, but this has been such a setup, I don't know. My bones ache that this is gonna be the end.
Duke, we have the 4 elemental spirits. Their power can counter the Adephagos.
There's no need to use people to destroy the Adephagos.
Oh yeah, I guess it's possible we don't have to fight Duke. Maybe he'll just be like, oh, that's a good plan. Let's do that.
Look at its size. 4 spirits are nothing against it.
They're crucial. We'll make up the rest by turning the Blastia cores to spirits too. Every single core in the world!
And as a bonus, it'll put an end to the Blastia culture that you hate so much. Not too shabby, huh?
I doubt humans will hand over their Blastia quietly. Or will you force them?
We don't force anyone to do anything.
Can you not believe that people can move forward and change?
Humans will not let something go once it is in their grasp.
Oh, I feel like this is now the culmination of the whole Aesop we've been going through here. This debate right now.
So you won't listen. We will destroy the Adephagos our own way. Please, wait just a little longer.
The people are determined as we are determined. We won't let that go to waste.
And will the world return to its former state?
Huh?
Will the air be controlled by the Entelekea? Will all life return to a time when nature ruled?
No.
You are changing this world, our Terca Luminaries. For what? For the convenience of humans. Nothing more.
Can't you think that the world might be growing? I think of the Entelekea becoming spirits as evolution. Can't you see that?
I would not presume to speak on the choices of the Entelekea. However, I also have my choices.
So you won't listen to us because we're humans?
You say you can't trust people, so you just drop everything. Then when it's too late, you try to wipe them out?
Do you know what this tower is?
No, please do enlighten us.
Tarkaron was once a city, but the ancients turned it into a weapon to destroy the Entelekea.
Oh.
To the ancients who did not recognize the threat of the Blastia, the Entelekea who attacked the Blastia were nothing more than a nuisance.
Interesting. For a second I thought it was another weapon to defeat the Adephagos, but okay.
And the air went out of balance, and the Adephagos appeared.
This was the original sin, so to speak, this tower.
Only then did humans listen to the words of the Entelekea. Our world has seen many sacrifices, yet humans committed the same offense, and they will again. Those who eat away and ruin this world. Those who would change the world for their own continued existence. They are apostles of destruction greater than even the Adephagos.
Is that the reason you're trying to destroy humanity?
I made a vow to my friend that I would protect this world.
Lucifer.
So Chroma told you.
Yeah, she also told us to stop you.
Yeah, so what do you say to that, Duke?
She listened to us too and became a spirit. So please, we can do this together.
Enough. If the Entelekea would throw away their mission, then I will take it up.
Okay, now he is getting a little...
I need not wait for your method. Once I complete this formula, the world will be saved.
Now he is getting a little bit maniacal.
Duke, stop!
As long as humans rule, they will commit the same offense time and again. If that happens, their hearts will grow wild and the future will be even more painful.
Even if that happens, it's the path we choose. Even if we are hurt or stopped, we can still walk again as long as we don't give up. She's right. You'll never find anything new if you're afraid of making mistakes, of failing.
Oh, now we're doing this lesson all of a sudden?
And unlike you, we haven't chosen this path on our own. Everyone decided on it.
Yeah, going it alone might be tough, but we're not alone. If one person can't do it, then we do it together. I finally learned that we can walk together like that.
Aye. Eventually, you'll hit a dead end with the solutions you come up with alone. But if everyone takes up oars together, no wind nor rain can stop you crossing the ocean.
That may be sufficient for those who are connected to one another. However, there will always be some who cannot accept a difficult future. You all surely understand that.
It will be difficult, but that is reality. They will take what changes, think, and change again. Both the people and the world. So even if it takes tens, hundreds of years, they will listen someday. I know this now. That's what it means to live.
Change is painful, but fearing it means we never make any progress.
Interesting.
And we'll be there to support those who need it.
I didn't see really this lesson coming here at the end. I guess, yeah, the world was stuck in a rut in some way. This world in a destructive path, so yeah.
That's why knights exist. Why guilds exist.
This is the lesson we needed in the end, I guess?
Right. There are things you have to protect. But this old man wants to see what lies ahead for people in the next era. See how the fools change. For those who can't see them anymore.
I have heard of you, Duke. Hero of the Great War.
Man, look at this. Now they're even framing Flynn as a hero, man.
A dear friend was taken from you, sparking your hatred of humans. The Empire's fault.
If you know, then why have you joined forces with that very same Empire?
To change it, so they will never make someone like you again. And to stop you taking the law into your own hands and becoming the world's judge, jury, and executioner.
This is, by the way, another extra scene, of course. I guess Flynn is not here in the original game, you know? So this is cool.
The laws of man hold no sway over me. I obey only the providence of Terca Lumeres.
Just this extra little, like, showdown between these two.
Regardless, I will not allow your actions to go unpunished.
Yeah, forget about Yuri. It's all about Flynn now. Look at this.
So you still insist on judging me according to your law? Very well. There is no more avoiding it. Come, judge me.
Okay, guys, so I hate to admit this, but I was doing pretty well in this fight, and then it crashed towards the end of this encounter, which means now I'm having to redo this Duke fight. You didn't get to see or hear that whole part. I think it's easier if I just once more from the top. Let's see how this goes. And I hate it very much too, because I was doing really well. This is not the most difficult boss in the world. I think it's obvious because it's only the first boss in the finale. So, check it. First of all, he only has less than 300,000 health, which isn't that bad. I got him down to less than 50,000 in our inaugural duel. He does have hard to interrupt combos, I won't deny that. And he does...
This isn't a path we chose alone.
I have no reason to go along with your plan.
Could you be any more stubborn? Why won't you listen?
We made this choice so humans and Entelekea could move on together.
Just letting these guys talk it out.
The Entelekea will regret that decision, and humans will wish they had died.
I won't regret it, no matter what you say.
Our resolve runs deeper than that.
Such a foolish conclusion. There is no longer any point in talking.
I guess we have to fight.
If you would just listen.
No more.
Yeah, there you go. The big old dialogue there. Like, his problems is that he does these flash steps, which will totally throw off some of my moves. Fair enough. And also, he does get a over limit every once in a while. But the thing is, he didn't seem to use Mystic Guard, so I didn't actually use my own over limit at all fighting him. And because I would rather save it for the later bosses. I mean, that's the whole deal here. I'm sure that's why this isn't that tough. This surely is not the only fight we have in store for us, so I'm trying to like be conservative with my supplies. In fact, I think I'm doing even better this time than my first go. How's his? Look at that. He's already already that low. Not half health, but we've gone quite well through his supplies. Okay, here comes over limit. We might want to play this defensively, just wait it out. Maybe. If I could draw his attention away from the casters, I mean, we could do great in this. Alright, he's done with his over limit. Sit down! Yeah, sorry, I am focusing a little bit, and I'm gonna use one of our specifics, because we're all a little low here on technical points. Oh, I missed Demonic Circle, that's annoying. Sit right there, Duke. Oh, I missed with that? Oh, that's annoying. There we go. Just keep him. What's he doing now? Look, he's under 100,000, so not bad at all. Yeah, see, this is not a terrible fight at all. I does sting me that it does sting me that I have to redo this, but the fact that this isn't that bad. Like, it wasn't the final boss where I was like really close. It was like the first of the final bosses. I'm guessing after this it's gonna be Adephagos and then like some sort of like Adephagos core or something. It's gonna be, and that's where things get real for sure. So let's just focus on finishing Duke off. Enjoy the fact that the guy who we've been so scared of this whole time is not that bad. He should be dead by now, right? No, he's still got over 50,000, so never mind. And I'm gonna drop a pineapple gel on Estelle in the meanwhile, just to keep her competitive. Ah, another... Is this only his second over limit thus far? I think it is. If I can just... See, I'm just drawing his attack so my casters can keep doing their shit. There we go, an over limit is done. Just sit right there and eat that. Boom! Feels good.
I never thought there were still knights like you in the Empire. Do you really believe you can change anything?
Man, they're still hyping up Flynn like this. This is amazing, because I think I've made it clear that my true hero in my heart is, of course, Flynn, so...
Either the Empire that only sees what it desires, or the people who live within it?
I will change it, no matter how long it takes. Even if I fail, there are others who will take up the fight. And they will succeed. One day.
A beautiful dream. But the Adephagos will devour the world long before it comes true.
Perhaps, if I were the only one fighting for it. But I'm not.
Aw, man.
We may not always get along, but I am surrounded by friends. They aren't the sort to let my ego inflate unchecked. So I know that we can do this.
Dreams, words, what use are they? I will protect this world from what threatens it.
Oh, man.
To that end, I will rid you from my sight. Now, my friend, grant me your strength.
Oh shit, what? He's powering up with his Entelekea, ghost of his Entelekea buddy? Oh shit! Whoa! This battlefield's gonna kill me just by having to stare at this white glow. Okay, thank goodness it's not just that. Wow, alright! We are going full Sephiroth here then. Alright. True Duke. Fair enough. Open up, guys, and let's just put another specific there for good luck.
You fools. How could the Entelekea agree?
Oh yeah, let's also... I wonder if... Like, I'm amazed that this game lets us use magic lenses on bosses. Let's see if Duke... Even Duke second form we can... We can. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. Now he has so much health. This is gonna be a pain.
Uncertain path.
It's not uncertain. We did it. The Entelekea became
Let's go,
spirits.
Duke.
Using the spirits to defeat the Adephagos is not a fantasy.
Please don't ignore a changing world.
You're just clinging to the past.
So I am the only stubborn one?
Alright, I think this time, if he does overlimit in this form,
Power to eliminate your
I think then I will, in fact, use my own overlimit just to even things up a little bit. I'm a little worried about this now. Nice. What's he doing now? Oh, he's still over 40,000 men. This is a marathon. Damn, those lasers. Oi, get off of them. Oh, my abilities are sealed, you sneaky git. I don't care. I'll just use this opportunity to grind my technical point. What? Ow!
You still stand.
Holy what? Ow, let's use a treat, why don't we? And let's see if those lemon gels come out. So he just insta-used his Mystic card the second he got his over limit. Fair enough. Damn it, I was gonna use my own over limit, but it... Let's see if Estelle can get us up. I almost feel like I should be using those, though, you know. Wow, Estelle. Oh, there we go. Maybe that was my resurrect ability? I don't know. Let's see if I can pull off my Mystic card. No, I can't pull it off. I don't know how to use Flynn's Mystic card. But I can do this. Eat that. Alright, that's us down with that. Alright, let's dunk another specific, because we're all really low on that. Alright, Angelic Duke. Go flying, why don't you? Oh, he's probably gonna make an attack. Yeah, okay. Bosses at this point, they always make like attacks when they recover from that tractor beam. I should know that by now. Let's throw another specific. Let's not spare these specifics now, guys. Let's unload on him. I want to keep a couple more for the Adephagos, but I think at this point we can bear to use a few of them, you know? Oh, fuck! How many do we have? 5. Oh, man. Maybe I'll use, like, one more later on. Another overlimit. Screw you! Let's see if we can avoid his big bang. Last time he would just use this instantly. That was bullshit. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Hits everybody. I'm not terribly surprised. Oh my god, we are so hurting. Let's just use another treat. Oh god, okay. This is where it starts to fall down. I was gonna wait for Estelle to use that life bottle, but... Oh, hey, he got Yuri up. Nice. Let's use another treat, because we've got plenty of those from grinding. To improve our chances. Damn, we did like an X-Strike! Like Frog and, Frog and Chrono, Yuri and Flynn there. That was the coolest thing in the whole game. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, I thought he was doing a tractor beam for a hot minute. Nope. Oh my god, he used the ground dash thing. That's Yuri's move. Havoc Kevin. How's he doing now in health? Oh my god, well, we've eaten through almost half his health. But god damn, what a marathon this is. If he does his Mystic card several more times, I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh god, so now it's just me trying to hold down him. Another over limit. It seems to be a move that just drops us to 1 health, and it doesn't seem to matter how we're doing, so let's see. I'm blocking this, so let's see what happens now. Like, look at those damage values. They should be killing us, but we're actually making it with... Yeah, I'll take those hits. I've got the health. Kind of. Oh, but I haven't... You know what I don't have? Is any damn technical points. So let's let him style back there, and let's drop... Yeah, I don't want to do specifics. Maybe 1. Okay, fine. Last specific for this round. Then once... the last 4 we're gonna have to use save for the next... The Adephagos. Don't you try that. Yeah. I'm gonna use a pineapple gel on myself, though. Oh, I'm paralyzed. Arg. Okay. Still paralyzed. Damn. I'm gonna use a paralysis bottle on myself. Make life just that little bit easier. Go. Keep him shut down. Gonna... Also, Estelle, don't worry, I got a pineapple gel with your name on it. Oh, I clipped him with the sword range. That's something. Get launch. Damn, see that teleport. Oh, here we go again. This is gonna suck so bad. Like, he does 10,000 damage to the lads. But okay, so the gimmick of that move is that it reduces everyone to 1 health. Except, apparently, Flynn for some reason, which is fine with me. Oi! Get off of her! Oh, you ass! Fine. There we go. Now let's... Okay, so as long as we have enough treats left, we can survive his big bangs by the looks of it. Although, how are we doing in supplies? Let's use a paralysis bottle while we're doing this. Like, we got 11 life bottles, 10 treats. Okay, I like want to save maybe 5 treats again, just like I saved. Well, okay, 4 treats, let's say that. But if we're doing 6 treats, I don't know. Like, how are we going to handle the Adephagos at that point? I don't know. Okay, paralysis bottle on Flynn. Damn, he like flash stepped out of Rita's spell. Fair enough, you crazy man. I'm gonna chuck another... Also, pineapple gels are getting really low. Well, we've still got 2/3, of course. Come on! What the... Was that three freaking... Of those in a row? Those, flashes? Ow, I am hurting. Let's use a miracle gel. I haven't busted those out yet. Look at that. All good. Ow, 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 ow. There we go. How's he doing now? Less than 10,000! Oh my god, as long as... He will probably do one more Mystic Card. Let's be realistic. But if I can survive that one... If I can survive his one more Mystic Card, I think we've got this. You stupid glowing Entelakea angel man thing. Just keep him shut down. Oh! Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes! I'm not... No heals now, because he's gonna lower us to 1 anyway. Okay, well, he'll... Oh, this is risky. There we go. Come on. Oh my god, what the? Oh my god, please tell me that Tempest shuts off after it's done. Because if it...
You still stand?
You got that right, sucker. Here's a treat. Yes, just shut him down! 25,000 health. Let's go! Let's go, Duke! How are we doing with 6 lemon gels? Man, I'm really scared about that. We need those as well. Okay. Estelle, you need to get the pineapple gel on yourself. Rita, you do something. I don't know. There we go. Fine, life bottle. We got plenty of life bottles, actually, all things considered, so... Shut him down! There we go, perfect. Just those denies and resurrection comes off, yes!
Accept your fate, Duke.
I shall end it all with this.
We'll defend the world our own way.
Oh, Patty, you mind jumping in and giving us a cream stew right about now? Thank you. Whew, and succeeded on it, too. Wow, yes, okay, good. I'm feeling good about this. Duke's beaten. Like, surely he's not gonna pull more crap out of his pockets, right? So now I feel like I can take the risk. Okay.
I shall use this power for justice.
And we learned all of that too. Yay, yeah, sure. Come on. Ugh, let's go. Oh, man. That went way smoother than I thought it would.
Lucifer, I could not keep my promise.
I mean, it wasn't the smoothest thing in the world, but I knew that final bosses would be rough, so...
I don't know what Lucifer was like, so this doesn't mean much coming from me.
Oh,
but if
no.
Lucifer fought for
okay.
humans during the Great War...
It is auto-scrolling
then I
now.
don't think he'd want his friend to reject humanity.
Lucifer's wish to protect the world, peace for all living things.
Yuri, hurry!
I'm on it!
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Estelle, synchronize. Judith, give me support. Okay.
Understood.
Oh, shit, look at this.
Yuri, let's go.
My heart's all aflutter.
We're counting on you, boss.
Everyone's lending him the spirit. Lend me your energy! Oh, that's what Gnome looks like. Oh, he's adorable. Oh, cool! Oh, it's all of the barrier blastia, I get it. Why is the music so ominous? Oh yeah, because, of course, it's not gonna be enough and we're gonna have to beat it ourselves, yes?
So then they truly intend to give up the Blastia.
Look at that.
It's over?
Space squid.
No way! Our plan isn't working!
No, it's okay. Just a little more. It just needs a little more power. But how? There isn't any more.
Come on, we gotta do something!
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain!
This can't be how it ends.
Oh, is Duke gonna actually...
Spirits, humans.
He's gonna take the big L for the world?
Can this world truly change? Damn it, come on!
Oh, what the... Speaking of one-winged angel... Whoa, did you see... Finally, did you see what the Adephagos itself looks like? A weird golden sitting creature? That was so weird. I kind of dig how vague they've kept the Adephagos visually, so it really has felt like an eldritch horror in that sense. Oh, that was amazing! We hit him with a giant wing!
Awesome! All the Entelikeia who became Adephagos, they all transformed into these spirits.
So the Adephagos was also part of this world. Unbelievable.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
Oh! Duke didn't even die!
We did it.
I thought he'd have to give his life for this, but never mind.
Was this truly the right thing for us to do?
I don't know. We lost all the Blastia, and with that, the barriers are gone. But we chose that path, so I guess we gotta live with it. As long as we're still alive, we'll be okay.
You are strong.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm not alone.
So,
Hey, Duke!
wow.
See you around.
Likewise. Yeah, fist bump! Fuck yeah, secret handshake! Aw, this should have gone for a little longer. So, wow! There was no fight with the Adephagos. We just piled in our spirit bomb and it saved the day. Oh, actually, speaking of spirits, I didn't even think about that. They actually were spirits bombing the Adephagos. So Safer Duke was the final boss. Ah, man, well... On one part, if I'd known that, I would have maybe played a little looser with my equipment, but actually that's kind of cool that I managed to beat him while holding back like that with some of my gear. Cool! Hey everybody, and thanks for sticking this long with the series. Welcome to the review section of the game, where I go through my usual end of the series ramblings about my feelings about the various aspects of the game. As you can probably tell, the tone is completely different from what you heard from me a second ago. This review part is me recording after the fact, like kind of podcast style. I didn't want to do it like this. I actually did record over the game originally, but something happened with the audio right when the credits started rolling, where it started to lose bits and like got all foreshortened. And I played a little bit of the game after the credits were done. You know, New Game Plus, or not New Game Plus, but you were able to like load up your save and you were able to run around on the world map. But then, of course, the dialogue that I read did not match the on-screen dialogue at all, or really my observations did not really match what was going on. So you didn't miss out on a whole lot, guys. There's a secret hot springs in the world that I happened to stumble on while doing my review, so I did a short bit there, but it wasn't particularly interesting, the plotline there. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm now re-recording basically my review, because, like I said, there were like bits and pieces missing from it. I don't know why that happened. Something, my computer maybe running too long, recording too long, started to memory leakage or something, but eh. In any case, I'll just do the final review here as a separate thing of its own. You can just watch the nice credits, because they are really sweet. I really like them. It's so cool seeing like these final moments that you're seeing right now of the characters, kind of seeing like what they do after the events of the story. Especially I like that after all the ringer that Patty was put through, that she's able to like have another like sailing crew again and go adventuring. That feels really good. I really like that especially. Also, Estelle and Rita getting to hang out over tea and crumpets I think is really cute too. I really dig that. So the great stuff. Oh, I'm sitting on my creakier chair today. You probably heard that now that I'm doing my review. Oh well. It just makes it that much funnier. And I'll put some placeholder art if the footage runs out before I'm done with my review, so you can just stare at something for that interim. Yes, well, let's get on with it then. Let's talk about my feelings. I'm so glad I got to play this game. It was really, really good. That said, this is kind of touted as the best Vesperia. It's a little here and there if it's this one or Tales of the Abyss, or possibly the newest one, Berseria, which one is fans' favorites. But this one is really up there. So I guess for such a highly regarded game, I do have like some points to knock off in basically every category. So I don't think this was one of the best RPGs I've ever played, but it was still really good. Like it left a lasting impression on me for sure. Let's get on with it then. Let's start with talking about the story, the plot overall, and the characters. The plot overall it was a very engaging plot, except I think this is something I've complained about a couple of episodes already. It does go on a little bit too long. It could have been tightened up. I would say the first third of the game, up to when Barbos is dealt with, that's a perfect game at that point. Okay, not perfect, literally perfect, okay, let's not, but like, it's so high class at that point. The story, the beats, everything, it's really good. And the pacing is great, bueno. After that, I think the pacing really kind of dips, unfortunately. With the exception, I think, of the ghost ship, that's all great stuff, but that wasn't really plot-wise super crazy or anything, but, you know, let's not get into little deets now. I thought also the tone was really good at the beginning, when it wasn't about saving the world so much as just solving this Blastia theft. Once it started becoming a little bit more of saving the world, I mean, the plot was fine. I liked that it became like this kind of... what I took away from it was that it was a climate change, non-renewable fuels Aesop, in a way. And, like, that's what I took away from it in the end, and I did dig that. But presentation-wise, it went too long, the plot. Like, the part where you try to hunt down Pharaoh, plus the part where Estelle gets kidnapped, up to you get Estelle back and you go after Alexei. That's the worst slog in this game, I think. I think a lot of RPGs do have that. Is the like midpoint kind of does slow down once the honeymoon's over, and before like the big triumphant finale, there is kind of a dip. In this case, it's actually a little bit shifted towards the end of the game. From the midpoint to near the end. And while I did enjoy the whole spirit plot line after beating Alexei, that came out kind of... It felt a little short, that whole thing. It almost felt like an afterthought now that I think about it, gathering the four spirits. Because that one, at the same time, it happened so fast with so little like build-up and everything. And at the same time, that also kind of felt like it dragged on. Like those areas, the Crystal Lands, the Eloise... When we went to create Undine, we went to an old area at that point, Zofir. I think you could have gotten away with, like, having the other two Entelecheia be discovered in a previous area as well. Even though you would still have to clear the area, you know. But somehow it would have just felt like it would have been, like, that much speedier. Not to mention, I've really been thinking about it, and I think, yeah, you could have tightened this plot up enormously. I think I've thought about it during this day, and I think what would have been more interesting is if The spirit plot line was happening way earlier, already around the same time as we're hunting down Pharaoh or when Estelle is kidnapped. Already get start doing that. I know you need Estelle there, so you couldn't really go forwards in the part where she's kidnapped, but like started laying it already then more. And I think it would have been interesting if Alexei had survived up to Tarkaron. Like maybe either Zaude and Tarkaron be like one of them removed, like just have this one area, or that Zaude doesn't end with Alexei's death. It's much shorter. It doesn't end with Alexei's death, and he's still like active on Tarkaron, and it's more of a three-way thing. Your team of Vesperia versus Alexei versus Duke. You could have really shortened the game that way and made it just a little bit tighter, the plot and the flow. Let me think here. I'll straight up admit, like, I don't know if the plot would actually be better that way. Would it be better served that way? I'm really, like, kind of going into fanfic territory here by coming up with these, like, ideas here. So I'm not saying that these are good or anything, but my core point that I think the game could have been tightened up. I will stand by that. I do think that's an absolute fact. So when it comes to the, of course, characters, their story, this is one of the best parties in any RPG I've seen. Barring, like, really small parties where, you know, all the characters get a really good focus. Something like Final Fantasy V, which I've touted as my favorite Final Fantasy. It's so hard to commit to a favorite Final Fantasy, but 5 kind of is there. It's this one is, like, really good. And really good that it's such a big party, but still manages to be that good. Well, big. 9 characters? 8 if you don't count Repeat, because he doesn't have that much character, being a dog. So great points for that. Like, I love them all, basically. Except I have to commit some critique again for Yuri here, our main character, and I'm fully aware that this is a beloved JRPG protagonist. In fact, that's what I walked into this game, knowing how he's beloved for being very different from your standard JRPG protagonist, and being, like, kind of a mature character, something that people who are sick of the Lloyds and the Tyrses of the world, these impulsive shonen protagonists, or alternatively, the kind of more moodier Clouds and Squalls of the world. Like, this is definitely something different from that Yuri, that is. He's not that edgy. I make some edgelord jokes throughout this game, but he's not that much of a Dark Knight edgelord, nothing personnel guy, honestly. He's a very laid-back character. It's very cool in that sense. And yeah, so I respect that. I respect how much he means to people, the fans of this game. He's very cool, certainly. But because of all this baggage, I guess I was, like, overhyped on the character, because I kind of walked away thinking, like, he's on the lower end of the characters in our party. I wasn't personally a huge fan of him. In my first review, I actually went and said that he's not a Mary Sue, but there's some Mary Sue-ish traits in how he gets away with his stuff and how beloved he is. I think I should walk that back, because he does face a lot of pushback. But my problem is that the game kind of treats him with real silk gloves. Cause, okay, yeah, so let's get to it. Like, what soured me on him is that there's interesting, like, light shined on his vigilantism when he goes after Cumore. Before that, he goes after Ragu. And later on, he almost goes after Alexei on his own, but then the others, like, catch up to him. I thought that was an interesting when it came up, like, ooh, this is, because it felt also, at that moment, it felt like, wow, this is kind of dark, what Yuri is doing, like, taking matters into his own hands like this, against a guy who, like, isn't really a combatant at that moment or anything. So that was, like, of course, the big dichotomy of Yuri's kind of acting on his own impulses versus Flynn's have to work with the system. The classic order versus chaos setup. And while I think that Flynn was really good introspection in the game on his philosophy and the positives and the negatives, like really with Alexei's betrayal, calling out the problems inherent in Flynn's worldview, him being a party to Alexei's actions and whatnot. I don't think that Yuri ever got the same kind of like negative light shown on him. I don't think he got enough comeuppance in this game. I think the biggest pushback he had was that everyone was all aghast that he'd kill those guys. And sure, I guess that is like a negative to your actions, but it doesn't feel big enough. Sometimes, the point is that sometimes you have to be the unpopular person to do the right thing. That's kind of what you could also take away from that. And that's kind of what it ends up being in the end. Like, everyone is cool with Yuri in the end. He doesn't face any huge repercussions that cost him a lot for making his choices. I would have wanted something like Yuri actually causes problems for other people by doing his lone wolf thing. He kills the wrong person, or somehow meting out justice actually, this vigilante kill on a guy actually does ruin things, make things worse, rather than, something like pointing out, like, no, this is why you shouldn't just act rashly like this. It will have bad consequences. I don't think there ever was. Like, your friends will be mad at you isn't a very strong bad consequence in my books. I don't think. I admit this as someone who is terrified of people being mad at me. Certainly me personally, okay, yes, sure, that'll be scared. But I think in the grander scheme, in like a storytelling, I don't think Yuri ever really gets enough focus on like the problems with his way. So that's why I kind of hesitatingly use the Mary Sue quote there. I don't think it's entirely appropriate, but it is why I didn't end up liking the character as that much as so many people online do. I don't mean to take away from the character, because Yuri was cool for like majority of the game. He's got a really cool design. I love Troy Baker, of course. He's fun to play as. His combos, story-wise, he's really cute as he's like kind of acting as a guide to the world for Estelle. There's a lot to like about the character for sure. It's just that I felt that since I had such a different reaction to him from the impressions I've seen online, like I think I did have to bare my soul here a little bit about why I wasn't so big on old Yuri there. Well, let's not dwell on that too much. The other characters, like I said, really good stuff. I love their character growth, their plot lines, really good stuff. And I should of course say that Flynn, if you're looking for a character who isn't a stock shonen kind of impulsive, whoa, I'm gonna save the world with the power of friendship guy, who's a mature character but also not like an edgelord, I mean, Flynn fills those criteria as well. And he, again, got really good focus on his philosophy and the positives and the negatives. So that's why, spoilers, Flynn is gonna be my pick for favorite character in this game. I won't hesitate to say that. I loved Flynn so much. I mean, Sam Riegel. No, but seriously, he was a good stuff. It's amazing to me that in the original game he's not a permanent party member. He's so like good, man. Wow. I think I would have liked this game a lot less if I had played the original version, I think, because also Patty was so delightful. But I've seen that a lot of people have reacted a little negatively to Patty. To a lot of people, she does come off as an extraneous like addition to the game, and also her wacky pirate antics maybe don't exactly endear her to everyone. Me, I think it's hilarious, so there you go. That's the level of character analysis I'm doing here. Yuri's couple of plot points make me sour on him, but here's a wacky, funny pirate girl. Okay, immediately 10 out of 10. Okay, so if you feel annoyed by my takes, there you go. Like I'm all over the board. So you don't have to take it too seriously if you don't want to. So let's move on from the story to the gameplay. let's talk about, first of all, combat and outside of combat. The combat was a really good fighting system. It kind of like Symphonia. It married an action game with RPG mechanics in a way that I think works pretty well. Some might find it, especially like character action game fans, might find it a little restrictive. It's still got that kind of RPG-ishness kind of fettering you at times, but since I'm more used to that, I'm cool with that. I don't mind that at all. In fact, my frustration is the opposite, is that, of course, I can't do all the cool shit that's available with the comboing arts because I'm bad. That's just, yeah. But, yeah, so I'm not going to knock the game on that because that's a lot on me and my inability to, like, master a gaming system. Although, well, I think the technical point limit was fine. Like, there were enough technical points to pull off crazy combos. That's kind of my problem was in Symphonia. I was kind of discouraged from doing combos. And I wasn't this earlier, but I think close to the end, I was able to pull out way more moves and way more, like, combinations of arts. I think the TP cycle was good enough towards the end there. What I was not a fan of was the skill system in the end. I've gone on that up in previous episodes, of course, is that it's a cool idea on principle. It's really fun, like, picking through that list, at least initially, picking through that list and selecting what you want. But soon it becomes too restrictive for its own good. There's the problem that... Well, it's not a problem that there's a lot of things that I wasn't personally into. That's just a sign that there's a good variety for various playstyles. Sure, I'm not going to knock on that. The variety of skills. Certainly, no, that's good. So anyone who wants a certain playstyle can select that. Maybe you want to forego Estelle being a medic and you want to actually play her as a melee character. Well, there's a plenty of combat-related skills there to buff her up. So, yeah, that's good stuff. What is less good stuff, again, is that point system. It's too restrictive in my tastes. Coupled with the fact that all the, like, really interesting skills cost so damn much. And then you have this cap on it. I felt like I wasn't getting all that I want out of it. That I felt like I was making way too many sacrifices. I get the idea is that you have to kind of make a build. You can't get everything. I understand that, but I feel it was too restrictive for its own good. Like I've said, I think maybe not double the amount of points, but at least 50% more points, and I would have been, like, happy. Like, I would have been happy with getting to select some... I would not have every skill activated all the time, but I would be able to select way more stuff that I liked personally and feel more like, oh yeah, this is a fun build I've made. Right now, it just felt like I had a really standard build because I didn't want to really invest in one really expensive thing, so I ended up just buying really basic, cheap skills that buff me up. So that's my main problem with the gameplay, I think. Outside of the combat system, it's a nice JRPG world. It's fun to explore. The enemy density in some areas is way too big, as you may realize from several recent episodes where I'm complaining about bumping into fights all the damn time. Yeah, I did not dig that. Yeah, no. But the actual areas themselves are fun to traverse. I think there weren't too many puzzles, but the ones that were there were fun. I thought it was alright. A lot of just shoot this with the Sorcerer's Ring, but good enough for me, I'd say. Maybe, I think Symphonia had some better, like, puzzles in its dungeons, now that I think about it. Because it's not like they were brain busters either. They were pretty fun. This game, yeah, but this game was still fun. Like, it was the loop of items was real good. You always got some cool treasure that felt really nice. Having a world map still in a RPG felt really good. I enjoyed flying around on it. Altogether, really good stuff. Enemy density I would have reduced. Maybe some area length as well. Just cut down on tighten it up is my biggest call for this game. Just all over, basically. Now, where I think this game maybe is the strongest is the presentation, maybe. Because my complaints there are I feel like they are less weighty than the ones I've levied at the story and at the gameplay, I think. I think, like, visually, this game is so gorgeous. I love the art style of this game. I forget the artist's name. Is it Hideo Baba? Someone Baba who made the art for all these characters. Amazing. I love it. And this one in particular, so cool, the character. Like, Estelle is aesthetically, such a cool character. Like, easily the standout, like, character design, I think, in this game is that pink and white. Amazing. Amazing. Rita's also real good. Raven looks super cool with that kind of old-timey, laid-back Japanese aesthetic. Oh, man. Really good, really good. And the areas are visually beautiful when they are, like, a bit more classic RPG. They are amazing with all the little details there. And just the kind of sense of area, sense of, like, design. Really good stuff. Now, I actually talk about that in an early episode. Like, I love that this still has that vibe of an older JRPG, even though this is a newer one. Newer, it is 10 years old, but in the grand scheme of things, it's fairly new. It still has, in those early areas, it still has that vibe of an older JRPG, and the area design being, like, kind of really, really solid, really classic. But then it does, later the game, it does fall into the trap of more modern RPGs I've noticed, where areas start to get a little samey, a little monotonous. I've noticed that in more modern RPGs that I've played. So, I mean, I haven't played a ton of them, but the ones I have, I've kind of, like, noted, like, this is a bunch of similar areas, or, like, this one area is, like, a lot of the similar visual things just going on and on. For example, the biggest, of course, the biggest perpetrator of that is Bactian. It's, I mean, it's so similar with the square rooms that they had to give you that map, which is, it makes me think of the Brothers' Tomb in Final Fantasy VIII, but that one was monotonous on purpose, since it's supposed to try to disorient you with the shifting camera angles, and you don't have a marker originally on the map. Like that one's a deliberate choice, and I respect that. Bactian, it's just, that feels like they didn't really have too many ideas, so they stretched out that dungeon, because it wasn't, my initial excitement at doing, like, this map, it wasn't very exciting at all, filling it out. Nope. There's other areas too, like the Crystal Lands. At first, like, wow, look at this beautiful crystal place. And then that beautiful crystal place goes on and on and on, and it's just a bunch of crystals and whatnot. There's good-looking areas, though, otherwise. Amiad Hill is gorgeous. I love the romp through the, like, woodland there. The kind of hills look amazing. That's my second favorite area of the game. My first area actually has the same problem. It starts to show the problem of repeating, like, similar areas, but I'll get to that in a second. It manages to still be my favorite, despite kind of being like that. And the castle, Zafia's castle, I think, did not fall into being too mazy. I enjoyed it visually. It did vary itself enough. A castle is supposed to be fairly uniform, so I can forgive if it's a little bit similar, but they actually really do change it up nicely. So I liked Zafia's castle. But then I think of something like Heracles again, which I, at the time playing through those levels, I did say I enjoyed them, but man, Heracles went for a long time, and man, it's a lot of mechanical room and mechanical exterior, and not enough, like, wow, interesting content inside this area. It bled into itself a little bit as well. So that's the biggest problem in presentation. Outside of that, like, the towns are fun to explore. The visuals are great when you are introduced to places. The visual style is, again, top notch. All the character designs are incredible. I dig them so much. Really good stuff. The music, I have to say, it's not bad, but it's definitely good. It leans on the positive, but it wasn't lasting for me. I can't think of a song in this game that I'm, like, turbo hyped for. except maybe the Ring a Bell, the opening song. I really dug that. That was a kind of funny like pop rock song. Funny song to have as an opening, but I totally dug it. But yeah, the music apart from that, like it served its purpose, and like the combat music was good. Usually it was really good. The only one I kind of didn't like, the regular boss music was kind of boring, which was the same problem in Symphonia, that the regular boss music was a snoozer. This one was a little better, but still not the kind of boss music I was looking for. But the unique fight music tended to always be good, yes, but I can't, like, name one off the top of my head that was crazy good. Like, not like Fatalize in Symphonia, which is still one of my favorite songs ever. That was such a good boss music. But there wasn't a Fatalize in this soundtrack, I have to say. Not something that I would be like, ooh, I dig this so much, I now have to keep listening to this forever and ever. Nope, can't think of one. The music when you fight Kratos, whatever. I think it's actually pronounced Kratos, the one in Symphonia. So that music was also really good. I listened to that for a while as well when I first heard it. I can't remember the name of it at this point. But yeah, it was. But it served its purpose, the music. So I can't like say it's bad. I just, unfortunately, it was not memorably good for me. So that's about wraps it up. Like I said, in every category I have, story, subdivided into general plot characters, gameplay, subdivided into combat, non-combat, presentation, subdivided into graphics and music. Like in all of those categories, overall it was good. Like it was really good, but there was something in each one of them which I could point to as that's an experience killer in some sense. Or experience killer sounds like in the end I hated this. I did not. It was a great game, like good stuff. But there's always something which like kind of like knocks off a point or two. Like if I ever were like to want to play this again, I would like remember some of those points and be like, do I really want to do this again? Yeah, I don't know. Like that's actually a thing. Like I don't play games very often, honestly, in general, so I probably won't return to this ever, unfortunately. But if I ever like felt the inclination, like some of this stuff would come up and make me kind of like go, no, I don't know. But as a singular experience, I'm so glad I did this. It's good. I really enjoy it. That's 2 out of 2 Tales games I've played, and I was positively delighted, yes. I guess that really just leaves Berseria to play as next, doesn't it? Well, there's also Zestiria is also on Steam, but Zestiria has reviewed very poorly with fans of the Tales series, and I might be inclined to play it someday, but I feel like since I can only play so many games in my lifetime, I might as well play the really well-reviewed one. So Berseria will probably be the one I play someday. And maybe if Tales of the Abyss ever gets a PC port, I might pop into that as well. I know that one is a little divisive, but the ones who love it really love Tales of the Abyss. So probably that will also be, but that needs a PC port for me to ever be able to do that. Yeah. So let's give my favorites, of course. My favorite character, I already said it's Flynn. It's a really hard choice because there's so many good characters in this game. Like I said, unironically, I really rate Patty really high, and I would be tempted to make her my favorite, but no. Flynn is so strong. Like I said, he kind of does what the game wants to do with Yuri, and actually sticks the landing. And he's voiced by Sam Riegel. Oh, he's so dreamy. And he's fun to play as. Yeah, I'm a sucker for Flynn. He's cool. I don't mind saying that he's my favorite character. Super good that he's available throughout the ending of this game. That he's available as a playable character. Like I said, like man, Vesperia without Patty and Flynn there, the original. Okay, I wouldn't hate it, obviously, but then when I'd play this version, I'd be like, wow, this is so much more improved with these two in it. My favorite antagonist had to do some soul searching because the game doesn't actually have like super strong antagonists, especially when one of them is basically just a force of nature, the Adephagos. And the final antagonist, Duke, he's kind of more of a tragic character, exemplified by the fact that he actually survives the events of the game. Like, yeah. He's interesting character, sure, but actually, like I said, they keep him hidden for too long in the game, like his backstory and everything. It only comes up in a major way around the time. Yeah, when we meet Chroma, that's like kind of when it really comes out. So I don't think Duke's my favorite. And the other villains, most of them are a little bit one note. Like, they serve their purpose as villains, but they're not very, very memorable. But I think Alexei does stand out as my favorite villain. He at least is there throughout the game from almost day one. He shows up early in a cutscene, and it's very cool that he turns out to be the villain ultimately, because he seems to be I made a joke about every authority figure in this game turning out to be a villain, but it's really good that it seems like he's at first just like ignorant of what is going on by his underlings and everything, but it then turns out he's the mastermind. And once he becomes the villain, like once he reveals his colors, man, DC Douglas gets to ham it up. He is such a slimy villain, and I think he's maybe the most challenging boss. I guess Bellius is the most challenging boss, because that was the one that tilted me the most and took me the most tries, but I don't know. The struggle that it was to beat Alexei makes me think he was the toughest, actually. Yeah, I don't know. But in any case, I think, yeah, he's a strong villain character, so I'll give that my favorite point. My favorite level, I said it was almost Amiad Hill, which is maybe a weird choice, but it just was such a nice level to play through and through, with a cool boss and cool design, just a great vibe. But there's one level where the hype was through the roof, and that, of course, was the ghost ship Atherum. I gotta give it to that. I mean, that was when Patty was finally a party member. After all that teasing, like, finally you got to play as her in this amazing, appropriate for her area, this ghost ship. So that felt fantastic. The design of that area was great, too. I mean, it's an easy thing for me to get hyped for, but a ghost ship with pirate ghosts and crabs with shark arms, and no, I think that was a little later area. They had like swords, the crabs there, and then the cursed wanderer to top it off. Great stuff. Now, like I said, Atherum starts to suffer from similar looking areas. Like, you go to a room and it's a wooden ship's cabin, and you go to another room and it's a wooden ship's corridor, and leads to a room which is very similar to the one I mentioned a second ago. There is variety in there a little bit. With the captain's cabin, of course, the surface decks, some of the stuff you find inside. And I do say, like, at that point when I was playing, I did not like consciously realize that it was bothering me that the areas were similar. I was in on that pirate ship mystery. So that's why I'm willing to say that that's my favorite area, despite that it starts to already show the problem I've been calling out. Actually, the very first place where the problem was coming out was Rago's basement, with all those square rooms, now that I think about it. But at that point, I thought it was such a one-time thing. I think I mentioned it, that it was bothering me, but it didn't yet like make me go, there's a problem in the game. I just thought, okay, well, this one area has dropped the ball. Yeah, Atherum, with its overall theme, its cool beats, and I guess its sparing amount of similarness, like, it still manages to be cool enough that I'm gonna say it's my favorite area of the game. Really good stuff. And of course, yeah, Patty gets introduced. Like, goddamn, she was fun to play as, ultimately. I didn't think a Stance character I would ever be into that. But there was something about Patty I was into. I think later on I started to be kind of bad at playing as her, so I'm a little sad about that, but still. The funniest moment, This is really hard for me because the game is so long and there's lots of funny moments throughout, but I'm like struggling to remember anything funny. I had huge trouble in the original recording to figure out what my favorite funny moment is. In the end, I'll give it to this one skit. There's a lot of funny skits involving Carol, which is a little sad. Poor Carol gets put through the ringer. It's not the one where Carol's dressed up as a girl. I had mixed feelings in that scene, of course. It was pretty funny in the end. It was fine, but it's a skit that I think is funny. There's a skit where I think it's Patty, Carol, and Rita. And Patty I think she's talking about how the Maristella works and its powers, and she's making up ridiculous bullshit that's just stringing Carol along. And all throughout, Rita is not saying anything, she's just giving the side eye. I think that was such a hilarious interaction with the three of them. And I think that one even ends with Carol just being like, "Why are you always messing with me, Patty?" Yeah, so I think that's the funniest thing. I think, yeah. I think I'll go with that. I can't really... They're good laughs, but nothing really sticks in my mind otherwise beyond that. Yeah. So I think that about wraps it up. Okay. We're done with reviewing the game. This time I actually do want to review my own Let's Play, how it went. And, well, mainly like flagellate here, like rip on myself, because this was a treat to play this, and I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the stuff that I came up in it, but when I think of you, the poor viewers, I think I did drop the ball, and you probably know what I'm talking about. It's all the menu managing with the skills and all the menu managing with the synthesizing that I kept on the camera. That went on for so long. Like, it added so much more to this game that I already said that could have been tightened up. I did not help things by stretching it out like that and leaving it in the episodes like that. This would have been... I dread to think if you made a cut of this game that removed all of the synthesizing, all of the skill selecting, how much shorter my series would be. I dread to think about it. It would be hours. I'm not even kidding. You could shave off hours off this, like several episodes. I don't have any excuse. Like, when it started at first, there were only a few skills to juggle, there were only a few items to synthesize. I thought, well, this is a fun thing to get on camera, to get my thoughts on my selections and everything. But before I knew it, it had ballooned, and it was eating up a lot of time, and I only realized that very late, and unfortunately I made the gambler's mistake of, like, being all in. I kept recording it. Maybe I should have started cutting it out. I tried to, like, leave it at the end of episodes so people who didn't want to watch it would have an easy exit point. That's what I tried to do, but, still. Because, I did want to... Because in a way, my Let's Plays are documentaries, right? They're documentaries of what happens in the game and stuff like that. So that's also why I kept thinking, like, I do want to, like, keep this stuff. What I could have done, of course, is that I do it off screen and then give a summary on camera for you guys of what the updates I did was vis-a-vis synthesization and picking skills. My fear there was that sometimes I would do so much at once that I would forget everything I did, but would that be a game ender if I forgot to mention, like, oh, I picked this skill now, which will change in this almost imperceptible way how things work? I don't know. Like, back when I recorded Valkyria Chronicles years and years ago, I would usually cut out the management of my equipment and upgrading and everything between missions. I would do that. And then I didn't do it for this one, and I don't have an excuse for that. I just stuck with it, and maybe I shouldn't have. All I can say is I'm sorry about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough outside of those moments. I have a tactical RPG lined up that I'd like to record at some point. I don't know yet when. But the thing is, that one, of course, does have menu management between missions, so I will try to be cognizant. I think I will, if I record that, or in future games like these, I will try to be cognizant of when there's too much menu managing. I will try to be cognizant of that and, like, work around that, cut that out, and just provide summaries if it's reasonable to do that. That's the lesson I'm going to try and take from this Let's Play for my future series. Speaking of future series, should I actually commit and mention what I want to do next? I guess because the next game is clear. After this Goliath of a game, the longest series we've had yet on Minsk and Friends, I'm going to play a really short RPG. We'll be done in 10 episodes from what I've understood reading online about the length of this game. As a nice little palate cleanser, Just a quick one like that. After that, I'm very much leaning on actually finally playing one of those Atelier games that for years now I've been waffling on. Because, like I said, I like the more laid-back vibe of the early Vesperia, and I've understood that the Atelier games are very laid-back for RPGs. So I might pop into that. The other one, of course, is finally getting into the Trails games, cracking out Trails in the Sky. That'll probably happen someday, but I already have a Falcom game on the channel at the moment, Ys 3, and there's no reason I couldn't have 2 Falcom games at the same time on the channel, but I kind of want to vary up my content, So I'm really leaning on jumping into Atelier Rorona, the first of the Arland games, which is apparently a great moment, great point in the series to jump in to play it, as I've understood. The beginning of the Arland saga, which is indeed on Steam. Actually, there's a lot of Atelier games on Steam now. There's all the most recent ones, I think. From Sophie up to Ryza, I think. Then the Arland games were introduced, the 3 of them. The 3 original Arland games. And I think that are they the Dust ones? The Dusk ones are the ones that happened after Arland before the modern ones. I think those have come on Steam as well. So lots of choices there, but Arland is the one I'm thinking of, Rorona. Got to get a feel for what this series is. So I reserve the right to change my plans, but look forward to that in maybe a month or so. Is get some Atelier Rorona going, which I just said I'd try to avoid menu management. I think that's going to be mainly that, since it's all about synthesizing items. But I think in that game it's going to be enjoyable, seeing as that's the kind of gist of that game. So I'm not too worried about that aspect. But okay, guys, thanks for sticking around, listening to my rambling. If you listen to this long, man, you are really a trooper. My heartfelt thanks for being this interested in the series. Now it's at last time to close it off, and this is always hard when I have to end a long series like this. Even if I'm okay, I wish the game would end already. Even then when it's finally over, there's that pang of, now it's over. But it is indeed time to say goodbye to Vesperia. Thank you to you guys at home for watching this. Thank you to Bandai Namco for making the game and also making it available on Steam so I could play it for you guys watching at home. And good stuff. Thank you to the game Vesperia. These were great characters who I will cherish these memories for sure. It was great. It was a pleasure, and there will be more adventures to come in the future. So catch you all then. Goodbye.